takes. Let's see them for what they really are and start afresh, okay? So reset, rededicate your life and reboot it and start a new obstacle-free path. And do it now, all right? My name is Kojo Yankson, and I can't emerge stronger from the ashes if I never get burnt. Good morning, Ghana.
It's the 28th day of December 2020. Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6 with me, Manuel Cranting.
I am Apostle Aaron Amina of the Apostolic Church, and I wish everyone in this nation a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2021. God bless you.
The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. It's also on Love 99.5 in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including Gaskia FM 105.5 in Tichiman and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, a hanged parliament and an impending 42-day election dispute. President Akuffo Addo commits to doing what it takes to preserve Ghana's democracy.
I will do whatever I can and spare no effort to ensure the institutions of our republic and our democratic engagement are not disturbed.
We'll tell you more as the opposition NDC prepares to commence its legal battle aimed at setting aside the December 7 result as announced by the EC.
And that is what the NDC is doing.
So are you going to court?
Yes, we'll go to court.
When are you doing that?
Certainly by Wednesday. Or by Wednesday, all these matters will be placed before court.
And in business,
City on verge of recording one of its best performances since 2017 as it has depreciated by only 3.5% to the dollar this year.
We'll give you details at exactly 6:15, but with barely 72 hours the end of the year 2020, former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Opokunyina, is cautioning prophets against prophesying death of prominent people.
It is my plea to those who call themselves prophets in our country that they would exercise patience and wisdom and not to prophesy of the evils that some people are going through, whether they are going to die or not.
We'll tell you more about his thoughts regarding this annual feature of end-of-year prophecies. I am Manuel Cranting. Please do stay for details. To our first story, and President Akuffo Addo says he will do whatever it takes to preserve Ghana's democracy, even as the NDC challenges his victory in the presidential elections. Well, analysts are already predicting tough governance times as the nation is shortly expected to have another election petition and a parliament closely matched as never before. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service on Sunday, President Akuffo Addo said the biggest lesson from the December 7 polls is that Ghanaians must work together to preserve the nation's democracy.
Ghana continues to stand as a beacon of democracy and good governance in our continent and around the world. And it is our responsibility in our generation to do everything possible to maintain this standard and this reputation. For my part, I will do whatever I can and spare no effort to ensure the institutions of our republic and our democratic engagement are not disturbed and are continued in full force and effect for the welfare and the benefit of the people of Ghana.
President Akuffo Addo also said he will work to bring development to all without discrimination in his second term in office. Listen.
I want to thank the people of Ghana for maintaining their confidence in our leadership of the nation, especially the over 6.7 million people who voted for me. But in singling them out, I also want to assure the 6.2 million who did not vote for me that I will have their interests at heart and in mind in all that I do.
President Akuffo Addo there. Now, the governing NPP lost as many as 32 seats in the December 7 parliamentary elections and has already set up a committee to probe this matter. Chairman of the committee, Yao Safo-Mafo, says its initial analysis shows some district and municipal chief executives work to undermine the electoral fortunes of the party's parliamentary candidates.
Well, so far we realized that there were a lot of internal frictions. A lot of district chief executives, municipal chief executives were undermining parliamentary candidates.
They were undermining parliamentary candidates?
Yes. They were even campaigning against them.
And these are the findings you have gathered so far?
Some of them so far. And therefore, we have a lot to do between the DCs and the parliamentary candidates.
I see. So have you been able to identify these DCs and MCs who perhaps may have undermined the work of the PCs?
Obviously, we have been able to identify some of them.
Like about how many are we talking about here?
Well, I wouldn't give any numbers now until the investigation is complete.
But for the DCs, would there be any sanction against them? Because I know that the party constitution clearly states that if some individuals work against the interests of the party, there may be some sanction against them. I don't make recommendation to that.
We are dealing with the same party. So if you are a DC or an MC and you campaign against your parliamentary candidate, you have no business to be a DC or MC for the party.
Yao Osafo Umafo there. Now, Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu has meanwhile blamed the size of President Akuffo Addo's government as the cause of the loss of seats. He says it took too many NPP MPs away from their parliamentary duties.
In Parliament, often on a typical day, we're minority in Parliament, even though we had 169 members. On a typical day, the NDC outnumbered us. One, because the hugeness of the numbers that were made ministers and deputy ministers. Unfortunately, the flip side was that not too many availed themselves in Parliament. And tragically, we have 19 deputy ministers from Parliament who were first-timers who lost in the main elections. What explains it? They are not.
Mr. Mensah Bonsu also called for the scrapping of the NPP's national delegate system used in the election of parliamentary candidates.
I have always insisted that we have to interrogate this. And my firm belief is that we should expand the membership further downstream. And when it comes to making this determination
of who
that is
the primary
the parliamentary candidate, every card-bearing member should be allowed to express his or her opinion on that.
In other words, scrap the delegate system.
Absolutely.
Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu. And this is your election headquarters to the camp of the NDC now, because it has finally confirmed that it will file processes at the Supreme Court to challenge the outcome of the December 7 presidential elections in the next 48 hours. Roxanne Defiamakpo is a member of the party's legal team.
Whatever result declaration that has been done must be in accordance with as laid down in CI 127. It's as simple as that. It will take a court of law to do that. Somebody has to complain that the law has not been complied with. And that is what the NDC is doing.
So are you going to court?
Yes, we'll go to court.
When are you doing that?
Certainly by Wednesday. Or by Wednesday, all these matters will be placed before court.
Okay, Wednesday appears to be the deadline for the filing of a presidential petition. How about the presidential?
We are suing. So much work has been done to tidying up the relevant evidence. So we are suing.
Roxanne Defiamakpo is a member of the NDC's legal team. He also says the party will continue its street protests across the country. From their camp of the NDC now, the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has cautioned the public against neglecting labels and writings on food products to avoid consuming expired ones, especially during this festive season. Ashanti Regional Head of the authority, Nora Naki Telabi, advised consumers to carefully examine labels on products purchased to ensure consumer safety and avoid food poisoning and other health-related issues. She was speaking to my colleague Prince Apia.
For us Ghanaians, when the item is in our home, we feel it is part of, is mine. And so you don't worry about whether it's expired or not. And so the advice is, if you receive a hamper, that's a good gesture. Please take your time, remove the items individually and check each one. Even if it is the same, two of the same item, don't assume that because you check one, there may be different batches.
And that was the Ashanti Regional Head of the FDA, Nora Naki Telabi there. Away from that story, former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Opokunyina, has cautioned prophets against predicting winners in impending national elections. He also urged the prophets to refrain from prophesying the death of prominent people in society. According to Apostle Opokunyina, such prophecies create unnecessary tension and retards growth. Well, he was delivering a sermon at the governing NPP's National Thanksgiving Service on the theme Ebenezer. That's how far the Lord has helped us.
One of the women prophetess mentioned in the Bible, called Naodian, followed money and gave false prophecy about one leader called Nehemiah. It is my plea to those who call themselves prophets in our country that they would exercise patience and wisdom, and not to prophesy on who is